Hello. Welcome to How Are the Children podcast, where we look at the text for preaching this week from a childist viewpoint. And I am Reverend Lita Behrens, pastor at Our Saviors in Fort Collins.
And I'm Reverend Bridgette Weir, pastor at St. Matthew Lutheran in Taylorsville, Utah. And as we get going this is the last push before Holy Week, and we get Palm Sunday. As we kind of begin our time, I think we all need a minute.
Mhm.
Let's take some deep breaths as we begin to center ourselves on the text, which will be Mark 11, 1 through 11, the triumphal entry. And I want you to think about I'm looking at a window, but if you have a door or some other thing that you consider entry, it can be your computer, it can be your phone. What's a portal for you? And take a moment and focus on what doorways and entryways and all of those ways that we step into what's next as Jesus does in our text today. So let's take a moment and think about how do we ground ourselves in the good news of God as we step into what's next. So I'm going to give us a minute of silence. Going to bring us back to this space. And may what's next for all of you be life giving in this season. So thank you all for being with us today. I'm going to share our PowerPoint because what's next is Palm Sunday. And as we get going, again, how are the children? And this is a great week and a great text for the synergy between what's happening in our liturgical worlds and our theological worlds and what's happening in our secular worlds is quite rich this week, as
It is,
many of
yeah.
you will have no kings protests on
hmm
Saturday, the 28th. We do here in Salt Lake City. I won't lie, I'm not sure if I will go. I typically do. If I do, it will be with Singing Resistance. We had a big protest at our ICE detention center that was just bought, and it became a little violent that the clergy ended up having to deal with. And so we're all still decompressing. And I don't know if I have another protest in me so quickly.
Yeah, that
Particularly
makes
headed,
sense.
yeah, particularly headed into Holy Week. So, but we're going to talk about all the ways we can have our voices heard in this season of protest, this season of Lent and Holy Week as we head into Easter, which is the season of new life and resurrection. So, Reverend Lita, would you read Mark 11, 1 through 11 for us? And I will attempt to work the PowerPoint.
Okay. When they were approaching Jerusalem at Bethphage and Bethany near the Mount of Olives, he, Jesus, sent two of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the village ahead of you, and immediately as you enter it, you will find tied there a colt that has never been ridden. Untie it and bring it. If anyone says to you, 'Why are you doing this?' just say this: 'The Lord needs it, and will send it back here immediately.'" They went away and found a colt tied near a door outside in the street. As they were untying it, some of the bystanders said to them, "What are you doing untying the colt?" They told them what Jesus had said, and they allowed them to take it. Then they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their cloaks on it, and he sat on it. Many people spread their cloaks on the road, and others spread leafy branches that they had cut in the fields. Then those who went ahead and those who followed were shouting, Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our ancestor David. Hosanna in the highest heaven. Then he entered Jerusalem and went into the temple. And when he had looked around at everything, as it was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12.
The Gospel of the Lord.
Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ. So where are the children, Pastor
Well,
Lita? Where are
they're
they?
probably right there.
Where are they? We had our
Probably
grandbabies
right there.
yesterday, and we asked that a lot. We took them to the park with some church families after church, and I'm like, where'd they go?
Where are the
Where
children?
are the children?
Yeah, I had a mom on Sunday say, where's my son? And I'm
Where'd they
like,
go?
I'm sure
He's around.
he's here somewhere. He was at choir. I just couldn't remember they had choir.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so yes,
Anyway,
I think the children are there. Um,
yes,
Paying
yes.
attention or not, they're there.
Yeah, and this is the one time where they're really actively participating, it occurred to me maybe.
Yeah.
Right? And not just sort of passive. And maybe that's an inaccurate reading of other texts. So, if you're now like, oh, come on, Bridget, they're problem. But this one, I think it's really obvious they could be participating because they can have a branch of whatever. It's a
Hmm.
branch from the field. So living in Nebraska for as long as I did, I'm like, did they have like a corn husk? Like what was happening?
Yeah, maybe.
I doubt it. I don't know if corn. Anyway,
No, it was a palm branch.
it was a palm branch because that's what eco palms say it
It
was.
says.
So, yeah, it was a palm branch or laying their coat or a piece of fabric. Like I
Yeah.
would anticipate they were really hands-on in ways that maybe they aren't in some other passages that we read.
Hmm.
Um, and it just got me to thinking. So, again, in the connection with No Kings, I just can't help but to go down that road. See what I did there? Of what do we tell our children about
Oh,
protest?
protest.
This is a great passage, right? Do we teach them how? Do we teach them when, why, where? All those questions that kids will ask us.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, if you go back to the definition of protest and what it is, children get that. They protest things with their adults all the time. Or maybe that's just my
Right.
kids.
Yeah,
Right?
they
But
do. They do.
they're hungry, cold, tired, and simply discombobulated. They are going to let you know. Crying is a form of protest from an
Hmm.
infant, right? What we call temper tantrums, right? Children being dysregulated and adults being dysregulated,
Right.
um, is, a big like klaxon, danger, danger. This person's needs are not getting met. And
Hmm.
and it made me think we can talk about protests as a way to make sure their needs are being met and other people's needs are being met, right? It's not
Hmm.
something we use to get our own way, but it's something that is a tool to be heard when people aren't getting food and shelter and belonging, right? And all the pieces that make them human. And that it's okay to say, this is what I need.
Hmm.
Um, that's something a lot of people in my generation and older, especially women, it's not okay to say, we have a need. I need something,
Hmm.
right? I need
For
a
sure.
snack. I need to lay down. I don't know, I need a day off. I need I need chocolate. I need right? And so this could be a great opportunity to voice needs and maybe,
Hmm.
have some paper palm branches they could make. They can use their hands on green paper. And
Hmm.
what would you want people to know that you need,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Or what do you think some other people need?
yeah, you could do both.
Yeah.
We have two hands, one for our own needs, one for others.
Well, there you go. You just wrote a children's sermon.
I did. Check that out. I'm not preaching again.
Oh,
Um,
I am.
but yeah, this is a great one to talk about emotions.
Hmm.
There are some wonderful children's book on emotions, and if I had been that much more organized, I would have them for the podcast. They're in that closet behind me, so I can't remember the exact titles, but I'll put them in our program notes
Okay.
on YouTube because there are some good ones. The one that comes to mind, because it's a title I can remember, is No David. David's a
Yeah.
pretty dysregulated little preschooler, and
Hmm.
mom is trying to regulate them and trying to get them to stop some behavior that is screaming David has a need. And at the end, it's that David needs a hug,
Oh,
right? And so that's a good one. I've used that in children's sermons before. I think another one is like the color monster, and it's about the different colors of emotion.
yeah.
Again, I'll put these in the program notes, but
Uh-huh.
that could be a really great way to bounce off your kids about talking about what they need and feelings and being angry. A lot of
Hmm.
adults around our kids are angry.
Yeah. And they don't, well, the adults, I think when we talk about protests in this time and place, adults are trying to find ways
Mm,
to make an impact with their anger that is a healthy impact, not a
yeah,
detrimental. Not all adults, but you know, we think
healthy
about
adults.
healthy adults. We think about the No Kings protest. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's nonviolent.
None of it's nonviolent, it's peacemaking, but it is saying, we are needs are not being met or grossly
Mm.
disregarded.
Yeah, and manipulated, right?
Yeah,
There's a
needs not being
manipulation
met
of needs.
might be a
Yeah,
soft way to say that, but
yeah,
uh, but it is a way that adults right now are trying to create space
yeah,
for not just themselves.
right. For our community.
Hopefully, hopefully there's areas or places where you feel like you can take children
Yeah.
to a protest. I have to admit, this just wasn't happening when I had
No,
it.
this wasn't a thing.
So I don't have firsthand
No.
parenting experience, but
Yeah, yeah. Because we would have done it together, so no. Um, yeah, I don't either. The closest I would say is I started taking my kids to Pride Fest when they were in junior high. So,
yeah,
excuse me,
bless you.
everything's in bloom here in Utah.
Yeah,
But
we showed up to some things
yeah,
like we had a mosque vandalized and we showed
that's
up to like
right.
a
I remember that.
like a prayer in support
Yep,
of and
yep.
so
Yeah,
kind
kind
of.
of, but not in this way, right? This
Yeah.
is a fairly we haven't seen this since maybe the 60s.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute. I am seeing some kids out at protests here in Utah,
Yeah.
being a very kid heavy state. And I have to say, it keeps adults on good behavior.
Well, that's good.
So we haven't had a whole lot of issue till Wednesday, but even then, it was at the end, and we managed to keep all the kids safe and get the families out. So it was fine. And good organizers will make sure that it is safe for kids and,
Mhm.
your own risk tolerance. But I think with No Kings, it's particularly safe. It's during the day.
Mhm.
It is fairly large, and you can choose to do the march part or not if your protest
Mhm.
contains a march. Ours does. I feel like the march is where it might get dicey, is what I've seen.
Yeah, there's, and here anyway, there's places you can kind of stand on the
Right.
sidelines and
Ditto.
wave.
That's safe.
And in no way is this if if you don't want to take
Oh,
kids
Don't
Don't.
take kids. We're here to help you think through if you want to, or if you have parents ask you your opinion of kids at
But
protests, helping you
yeah,
think through the gamut of responses, and to, like, why would you want to take them? What message do you want your kids to hear?
yeah,
Will you make a sign with them? Are you prepared? I think I have it on this one. Um, that some of the signs may not be kid friendly.
right.
Hilarious, they'll be hilarious to adults and maybe even to kids. But they might contain some swear words. So you have to
Mhm.
be prepared. I will say living in Portland prepares you for those conversations.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And
Um,
if you don't go, um, I would encourage talking about it,
yeah.
showing a couple pictures maybe.
Yeah. Look at
Um,
these people expressing how they feel
because
and what they want to see.
they're hearing about it.
Yeah.
So
Especially, I mean, maybe not your preschoolers as much, right? I'm thinking
no, but
your school age and up.
yeah.
This has come up, right? It's just in our zeitgeist right now.
Hmm.
Um, but it's a great way to talk about emotion, right? It's a reaction to injustice, neglect, and it's a blessing,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it's a blessing.
yeah,
How do we bless a protest,
that's a
right?
mhm.
And what's the blessing of the protest? And how is having your voice heard a blessing for others? Right? What's the mutual blessing in this?
Mhm.
And I think some of it is the blessing is you get to express your emotion and other people can validate it and, affirm. Um, and as we journey through Holy Week, right, we get the anger, the desperation, anxiety, affirmation, right? When people gather together and be like, oh, you feel that way too?
Mhm.
What? What? Oh, it's so validating. Brene Brown talks about this.
Yeah,
Um, it's hard to be totally in despair and hopeless with someone else. It's possible,
right. It's
but
possible, but
it's harder. It's harder. I mean, anything's possible, and but what about the joy of a protest that we're saying at a better day is coming? Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, right?
yeah,
This text has a lot of entering, the word enter, and the word, blessed is he who comes,
yeah.
right? What's coming? What are we going to enter into? Is it going to always stay this way? The people of Jerusalem and the United States wondered.
Hmm.
Um, what do we want to enter into? What's the threshold we want to cross into next? Whew, I know some thresholds we're all terrified of.
Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
on we're on the precipice, right? We are standing in a really liminal space right now, which is why I think many of us it's really easy to become dysregulated because our touchstones are harder to get to, I think, harder to access is maybe a better way to put it, because we are standing in a threshold and we're
Hmm.
about to decide what the next steps of life together are going to be. And Jesus knew that, right?
Yeah,
And there's no one that says you shouldn't be yelling this. Don't be angry, don't be sad, don't be worried, right? But
yeah.
what they do is it's directed into action that matters, right? They came and they went to Jerusalem, right to the heart of where the leaders are. People, the shepherds, right? The leaders who should be shepherds for their people, Isaiah writes,
Hmm.
right? They should be caring for the people of whom they're entrusted, making sure you're not kicking 2 million kids off of SNAP benefits, right? Making sure that no one goes unhoused, making sure that CHIP and Medicaid is covering who it needs to cover, making sure we're not putting babies in detention centers,
Hmm.
making sure any sense of law enforcement, our ICE, CBP, that they are actually there to take care of people, right? We forget ICE and CBP are there to handle paperwork. Crossing the border is nothing but paperwork.
Yeah, it's the
We,
civil.
right, it's
Yeah.
a civil thing. And so, right, are they actually taking care of the paperwork and therefore the people?
No.
Yeah, well, okay, okay, well, that was easy. Okay, all right, podcast done. No, but right, and goes
Best of
right
luck.
right to the heart of corruption. And then, okay, this is what got me earlier today rereading it. Looked around at everything. I
Mm.
don't think it was just the temple Jesus was peeking his head into.
Okay.
Right? I mean, it's kind of what the text alludes. I get that. I'm yeah, but I got to thinking about it, and I'm getting excited just thinking. And I was like, it's the Greek panta, all, right? Pan,
Yeah.
pantheon, pandemic, right? Jesus sees it all. The greed, the denial of basic necessities, the oppression of the orphan, the widow, the alien, the young, the old, sees it all. Sees the people trying to say we have needs that aren't being met. Sees it all.
Preach
Sees
it.
exactly what he's what?
I said preach it.
Well, right, sees exactly what he's going to walk into as well.
Yeah.
He's right? Jesus is about to walk in to the next, like it's like an evil Dr. Evil's lair, right? It's going to walk and wants to be fully prepared, like took a peek, little recon, and then retreated like, okay, got to do a little planning, went to Bethany, depending on we have a lot of different gospels that say maybe he had friends in Bethany, right?
Hmm.
With the raising of Lazarus, folks on lectionary yesterday just had.
Hmm.
Went to his people, right? Spent time with his people, spent time in prayer, and then we know that in Mark there's some parables and a few other things, but then he turns the tables, right? It says this isn't of God, and knew he was stoking confrontation. Knew it was time to say enough is enough. And knew he was the one that had to say it. Now, it's too bad the people from the No Kings, or I mean, Triumphal Entry, didn't stay with him as right
Yeah.
we're all of a sudden like there's a crowd, yeah, Jesus, and then he's like enough is enough, and oh, everyone starts beep beep beep, right,
Wait. Yeah.
away from Jesus, and then he's standing
Yeah.
alone, right?
Yeah.
I just Yeah, that just got me. He saw it all, and I imagine in that moment he saw his own crucifixion, right? Like Martin Luther King Jr. knew he wouldn't get to the mountaintop. Moses knew he wouldn't
Knew
go
he
to the
wouldn't.
promised land, right? Jesus, I
Yeah.
mean, divine, human, whatever your theology and faith tradition tell you, we all have that sense of intuition,
Hmm.
right? In crucial moments. We all
Yeah.
have that sense of intuition, and Jesus saw it all and believed it.
Hmm.
Believed it, believed the corruption, believed the oppression, believed God was going to do another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad I'm not
I
teaching
know.
on
I
this.
feel like you should be.
Yeah, it's
You want to just fly out here.
I will. I No, I have to teach a communion class on Sunday. Maybe I'll write something up though. But so the waving of the branches, this got me thinking that children excel at getting our attention, right? They protest, they cry. Oh, and I talked about temper tantrum, right? They
Yeah.
excel at, I mean, our little granddaughter's 4 and 21 months. It, it's for the 21-month-old barely talks, able to get her message across clear as day, or the what she needs. um, right? They throw things. Right? Waving of palm branches. What a great way to get the attentions of powers and principalities is to wave a sign of protest this
That's
weekend.
right.
And if you
Mhm.
can't or don't want to go, put it in your window,
Yeah.
right? I saw somebody that bought one of those digital readers for the back of their car.
Oh my gosh.
It has like a rolling, like a rolling
Like
digital
a
sign of all the
reader
things they're
board.
mad
Oh
about.
my gosh,
Yeah,
that's
reader board. Thank
hilarious.
you. Oh my gosh, I was dying. Um, I'm like, that's probably not safe on the road, but it could be illegal. I don't know, so don't. Yeah, but there are. How do we get the attention of our leaders? Right?
Yeah. This is one way.
Yeah, it is one way. I also encourage you to write your federal and
Yeah.
local and state delegation, attend city and county council meetings. It's my
And
little plug for
call
activism.
them and bother them all the
Bother
time.
them, call them all the time, get to know their staff. Um, but I think the most important thing with our kids is to let them know that, yep, adults get angry, upset, worried, anxious, helpless, hopeless, and peaceful, nonviolent protest, waving a flag, a written sign, or a palm branch. It's a How do we channel our no emotion is bad. It's what we do with it.
Yeah.
I at least I was, and maybe many in our generation were brought up that like anger is bad,
Hmm.
right? Or don't be sad, don't cry, right?
Hmm.
No, yep, you're crying. Oh, let's talk about that.
Don't be so sensitive.
Don't be
That's
so
why.
sensitive. I know. Yeah, it's a great way. And, again, moving our bodies is a great way to channel
Hmm.
emotion and process emotion. It's a great way to move us from like a cortisol overload so we don't burn out.
Yeah.
Um, that you and I read that great book, Burnout, it's been
Yes.
like 2 years ago now, right, where she talks about the cycles that we often don't complete our stress cycle, which is why we burn out. So I can't. It's Emily Nakasi or something like that. Again, program notes. Yeah, and look at me with the program notes. I should be making a list. Hi, if I leave something out, dear listeners, just ping me and I'll get it. But we have to complete the stress cycle. And I think there's a lot of us not completing stress cycles.
Cycle. Well, it's hard because there's too many stress
Too many
cycles.
stresses. Yeah,
Try to complete one.
it's a continuous cycle. It's a treadmill I'd like to get off. That would be great.
That would be great.
Yeah. But, how do we dance with our kids in worship,
Hmm.
right? How do we dance our protest out? Singing resistance. I've made a plug for it before. We had a big practice yesterday ahead of No Kings where we all sang and clap some white people on 1 and 3. It was awesome. Um, but but singing is a fantastic way to because it's breathing. You
Yeah.
can't hold your breath. It's harder, right? Again, it's a fantastic way to regulate little and big bodies.
Yes.
What's your favorite way to regulate, Reverend Rita?
Well, it's moving. It's getting myself out of the emotion and doing something with it.
Yeah,
So, could be walking, could be writing, could
yeah,
be um just moving
movement.
it. And singing is great.
Hmm.
I know there are singing resistance things happening around here, but I can't
Yeah,
seem to figure out when they are. But
yeah.
um yeah.
Instagram. Go to Instagram. The Singing Resistance National Movement has an Insta with a link tree, and to find one
Oh,
in
okay.
your location. Um,
I'm not good at the socials,
yeah, I'm not either. I know
but I
that
can
only
go there.
because I I'm part of the Utah one, and I'm on their Signal chat, and I that's how I know. It's because somebody told me. So I don't know
Yeah.
these things intuitively. I'm old. Um, yeah. So talk this week about emotions, big and small, and what we do with them, and what Jesus says about it, what Jesus does with it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's
Um,
great.
I will never not love this quote by Martin Luther King Jr. But in condemning violence, it would be an act of irresponsibility not to be as strong in condemning the conditions in our society that cause people to feel so angry that they have no alternative but to engage in riots. What we must see is that a riot is the language of the unheard, right? And what I love about this is naming the complexity of protest movements, of activism, and the always the critique of, well, this small group of people became violent, right? Or, vandalized. Or, well, the other thing is we equate vandalism with violence. It is not the same thing. It's a building. It'll be okay. It doesn't have feelings. But I think it's to remember that there are people that are very unheard in our culture. And when that happens, to be curious about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we can condemn violence. Martin Luther King Jr. had a very nonviolent movement. And he recognized the complexity of emotion and the
Yeah.
complexity of human experience, and that a riot, or what we would today call, vandalism or a violent response, it's folks saying, you are still not hearing me, right? Are you hearing, or are you just listening? Listening is hearing to respond. Hearing is listening to understand. So, how are we hearing, folks? So, my hope for today, I didn't, possible preaching avenues. I think we've listed some of those. I think we're good.
Yes, we have.
Right? So, how are the children? Are they heard? I hope so. I'm gonna have they are heard.
Yeah.
That's our goal, right? Is they are heard. Their needs are met. They are regulated to where they won't riot, whatever that looks like. There's the 2-year-old riot and the teen. But you know what happened Wednesday night was we had a group of young men, I would guess early 20s, that are angry.
Mm.
They are unheard, and they picked this movement to unleash their anger. And I actually don't know how much of it is technically about ICE and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
In trying to, I tried to regulate them. I worked with a couple of them,
Mm-hmm.
and to no avail. And then, but I what I was left with was they feel very hopeless and helpless and very unheard, and were willing to do something potentially um, harmful and to get arrested for throwing rocks. They're like 21. I'm like, honey, that's something a 10-year-old does, right? And so I think about that,
Mm-hmm.
along with that quote of MLK that's been rattling around in my brain and heart, right? We
Yeah.
want people to be heard. When they're heard, we won't have violence. That's what we want. Well, let's hear people. Let's meet their needs.
Yeah,
Simple. Done. We
for
can empty
sure.
the prisons.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when Jesus says, I've come to liberate the imprisoned, I don't think it was a metaphor.
I don't think so.
Right? It was, let's meet basic needs so that we're not putting people in jail for selling drugs, which they
Right.
shouldn't go to jail for anyway. But right, our criminal justice system is a whole other podcast. Um, but it's that simple and that complex.
Hmm.
Or I guess the better is like it's easy but hard.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's kind of where my brain went
Well,
with this
thank
one.
you. You
Yeah,
had a lot
any
to offer.
well,
That's
yeah, and I need
awesome.
to do some program notes. But Pastor Lita, what is something that you love about Holy Week?
About Holy Week. Um, I actually I love a few things,
Ooh.
but I would say I do love Palm Sunday. We do have
Mm.
the kid, we do parade around the church. Everyone's welcome to. It's mostly the kids that do it. Um, and parade all around it, and I love that. Um, And I love that we also do like a procession type thing on Easter. We just kind of have these two bookends. And we have all the other services in between, but of two different things, two very different things that are being celebrated, actually.
Yeah.
But I love this week too because I feel like we open up so many different spaces and avenues
Yeah.
for children and young people to participate and be hands-on and understand and know the stories. So,
Yeah.
um, that's what I've always liked about Holy Week.
Yeah.
How
I
about
think
you?
you're right. It's the one week where it's oddly reverent and oddly a space for creativity at the same time. Um, yeah, I love Easter Vigil. At our
Mm.
congregation, the families are telling the stories however they want. I picked six. We're not doing all the stories. Um, but we start with stories in our fellowship hall,
Uh-huh.
starting with creation and ending with, I believe it's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Is that the
Okay.
last one? I forget. Anyway, but so the kids get to do that however they want, and we sing
Fun.
all the camp songs that match those stories,
Uh-huh.
and like the hippo song and Pharaoh Pharaoh and all of
Uh-huh.
that. And then we have a prayer loom that people weave strips of paper in each week, and we have to clean it out from time to time. But then we make a giant prayer chain out of everything from the whole year that stretches all around our parking lot.
Oh, wow.
And then we feed it into the vigil fire for our prayers to rise like incense.
Oh, I'm so doing that.
It's really cool.
I mean, I can't do it this year because I don't have it, but
But you need a prayer loom.
I need a prayer loom.
And start at Easter. But that's what we do for
Okay.
Easter Vigil. And then we used to do s'mores, but honestly, it was a weird transition then trying to get people into worship right after that
Hmm.
because yeah, so
Yeah.
we're nixing s'mores, but we're doing more robust goodie bags for the kids this year.
Nice.
So we're doing that. And all the kids get a goodie bag at Vigil, which is a tradition they've had. But since we're nixing s'mores, we felt like we needed to bribe them since we bribe them with Marshies and chocolate. But then yeah, so that's
Fun. I
yeah,
love that.
I love it. So that's my favorite part.
Yay.
Yeah, Easter Sunday's almost anticlimactic for me.
I know.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because it is not that different from any other Sunday if you think about it. We just say
Right.
Alleluia a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. We ring bells.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
We don't have bells, but I do have a singing bowl. I should use that. But anyway, yeah. So tell us what your favorite part of Holy Week is.
Yes, we would love to know.
And yeah, leave a comment, like and subscribe. And then actually next week we will be doing Easter, which I think is still off lectionary with Sanctified Arts. Or are you back on lectionary?
Well, Sanctified Arts has the Matthew and
Oh, okay, I think that's right. I haven't
Easter
looked. I should look.
story, and year A says John or Matthew.
That's true. It always says John or, doesn't it?
It does.
So I think on Vigil I'm preaching John, and I think on Easter Day I'll do the Matthew.
Yeah,
So
I'm doing
we
the Matthew.
okay. So we will be back on lectionary next week.
Okay.
So tell your friends. All right. Thank you so much. Blessed Palm Sunday. Blessed on your Holy Week preparations. And take care of yourself and have your needs met.
Bye.